Asking you which side you're on, drawing battle lines in this country. We're a rich nation full of boarded homes, crowded prisons, abandoned schools, poor folks with hard goals, rich folks with poor souls, undereducated and overgrown, uninsured and overloaned, clinging hard to what we own, trying to win the rat race. So you hate taxes on the working poor, unless of course they're for the war, or putting a wall along the border, but not for nurses or doctors. Priorities flip is the way it looks to me, and I work hard as hell for my money, but I don't believe in an economy that forces folks to crawl. Tea party on the Capitol lawn, and Sarah Palin singing along, laughing all the way to the Pentagon. Asking you which side you're on, drawing battle lines in this country. Oh, but there's something in our worldview, something about the lens we look through, that keeps us from building something new that works out better for more of us. Well, it's in the cracks where the levees broke, it's in the cash gold mid-Sachs stole, it's in the fields of tomatoes where the legacy of slavery roams. It's a hatred born of jealous fear, a hatred born and bred right here, xenophobic and insecure with a deadly outcome. It's a racism that grows and thrives when religion's used to justify an endless list of human rights denied in the name of liberty. Tea party on the Capitol lawn, and the Christian terrorists are singing along, getting ready for the race war. The ground that you're standing on, cause Arizona was Mexico, and your grandparents were Europeans, and your national heroes like Thomas Paine were immigrants when they came and called themselves Americans, and that's how it's always been. And Maria and Juan didn't steal your jobs, they were outsourced by Bill and Ron, as South America's wealth was robbed by US corporations. So when they dumped the tea in Boston, it was an attack against the corporation. So I don't see the connection between that story and yours. And Crispus Attucks and the Boston Dead weren't fighting for a white nation, they were fighting an occupation like the Iraq and Afghan wars. Tea party on the Capitol lawn, asking you which side you're on, drawing battle lines in this country. And to all you Tea Partiers out there who think you're fighting for, you know, whatever country you think you represent by pushing this political program, and the people behind it are Sarah Palin and Glenn Beck and these types, these racist fascists, and you think you're fighting tyranny, and you think you're standing for the legacy of resistance in this country, I just urge you to read your American history and read about some of the heroes who came before, and read about what Thomas Paine was really about. Read about Frederick Douglass and Harriet Tubman and Sojourner Truth and Mother Jones and all these people that fought to better this country against tyranny. Time and time again, this reoccurring figure, Martin Luther King, you know, like you name it, these people of all colors, of all genders, who fought to make this country the place that it is today, with all the oppression that we have today and all the injustice that we have. We also do have justice in small pockets, and that justice exists because of those people and the struggles that they represented and spoke for, and the people who've always run this country overwhelmingly have been trying to stifle that. The Thomas Jeffersons and the George Washingtons and the Richard Nixons and the George Bushes and the Ronald Reagans and all these people, they didn't push for justice in this country. They didn't free people. They fought a multi-hundred-year legacy in this country of trying to take freedom and liberty away from people. And we need to expand the definition of liberty from this narrow definition that a lot of the leaders of the Tea Party push, which is the freedom to do what one wants. And we need to also look at the freedom that people like Martin Luther King talked about, the collective freedom, the freedom both to do what one wants within limits, the freedom to go to the same cafe as other people, the freedom to the same amount of political expression, but also the freedom from oppression, the freedom from harassment, the freedom from racism and sexism and homophobia, and all these things that people have struggled for. That's freedom too. And just having the freedom to do something without the freedom from having something done to you is a great injustice. And it does not, it's not a good recipe for this country or any land with people on it. So I urge you Tea Party types, especially you younger ones and lower ranks and stuff, really think about these things. Because a lot of the things that you say make sense, and a lot of things that you say or represent don't make any sense, or they make sense and they're unjust and they're racist. And it's, when a bunch of white people get on TV and talk about taking the country back, people like me and a lot of people in this country don't get a very good image in our head when we see that. And there's a great struggle needed in this country, and there's a lot of freedom that we need to gain, and there's a lot of injustice being done to common people by corporations and by politicians, and we need to make sure that we understand that problem correctly and not incorrectly, because if we think that freeing up the economy from the pressures of the government and allowing corporations to utilize it to the full extent that they want to, we're not correctly analyzing the situation. And if we think that the problem is people trying to get a couple of dollars from the government so that they can afford health care, or they can afford food, or they can afford to sell their crops, if we think that's the problem, we're incorrectly analyzing the situation. The problem is not the welfare of the common person. The problem is the welfare of the corporation and the military budget. So think about these things, and hopefully we can learn collectively from it.